Welcome back to the next video. In today's video I will show you how you can upload a file to AWS S3 using GraphQL in Flutter. So I will be using this mutation which I had created using Node.js. So if you are curious how to create this mutation on backend using Node.js, I already have a video on that on my channel, so you can watch that. Next I'll just show you a quick demo. So what I am doing is that I'm clicking on upload file over here. I will select one image and it calls that particular mutation, and then I get it uploads it to AWS S3. I get a pre-signed URL. The pre-signed URL again is taken care on the backend side itself, and then I just display this image once I get the pre-signed URL inside my Flutter app. So let's see how to do that. So first what you will have to do is create a Flutter app. Next go to pubspec.yaml. You will have to import GraphQL_Flutter. Then I am using image picker library for picking images from my particular file, and here I have used HTTP parser and path. These all three are required because uploading file to S3, so it's not pretty straightforward. So we require this three libraries as well. Next what you will have to do, you will have to create this file called client_provider.dart, and here first I don't think this is required. I think this was just part of my debugging, so you can ignore this. Next I have created this method called client_for, which takes a URI as well as subscription URI, and here first I am creating our HTTP link by our URI, and here I am passing these default headers. Now these default headers are required if you are using that GraphQL upload library inside your Node.js backend. If you are using some other backend, this might not be required, but given that there is some like CSRF issue with GraphQL upload, that's why I had to include this kind of default header inside my HTTP link as well. Next I'm creating this WebSocket link. Again this is not required, but even I'm showing it to you because you might be using subscription as well. So even if you're not using it, that's fine. Just create this WebSocket link. Okay, and I am creating one single link from our HTTP link as well as WebSocket link, which you can see over here. Next we are creating our GraphQL client, and I am using GraphQL cache for Hive store, and then passing our link. Then I have created a stateless widget, and here we are creating constructor for it, which will take a URI and subscription, and here we are using this client for method where we are passing the URI as well as the subscription URI, and then it will take any kind of a child, and it wraps a GraphQL client. Okay, so we have wrapped the GraphQL provider over it, the client and the child. Next you will have to go to main.dot. First I am initializing our Hive for Flutter because that's what database GraphQL Flutter uses, local database I mean. Next I have wrapped the client provider widget for our material app. I have passed the subscription URI as well as the normal URI. I am using localhost because my Node.js backend is hosted locally, but if you are trying to test it on a real Android device and if your backend is hosted on localhost, you will might have to replace this localhost by a real IP address. Even for emulator I think localhost won't work. iOS simulator it works, but I think Android emulator you might have to check about localhost. Okay, next what you will have to do, so here I have created our upload file mutation inside our stateful widget of my home page. Okay, and if you see we are passing this file, right, and it has a $sign before it, and given that we are using this multi-line string, we have to escape it, this $sign. So I am using this escape character over here as well as over here. Then I have created one mutation for our text button, so I have wrapped it within a mutation widget which takes a mutation option, and inside the document GQL I have passed this upload file mutation. Next on completed I will actually get the result. So here this is how I get the result. So it is in result data. We need to fetch the upload profile picture, and from that I need to get the profile picture. Now this might change for you depending on how your backend is designed. So if you want, you can first print your result data and then you can fetch however your JSON is structured, but for me it is structured something like this. So be careful over here, and I'm just whatever pre-signed URL which we get, I'm just assigning it to our result variable which we have defined. So here we will display this result variable inside our image.network widget. Next I have taken a text button. So first on press of the button I am initializing our image picker. Then once I'm using image source dot gallery, so once the user picks any image, I'm just getting the particular picked image. Then here you can see we have to use this HTTP, so you have to add this 3 imports as well apart from GraphQL, Flutter and image picker. So here you have to use this http.multipartfile.from path, and here you can I have named it as image and media type is image as well. Okay, and from this I'm actually creating our multipart file, and then this should be whatever however your GraphQL backend requires the variable name to be. So my GraphQL backend requires the variable name to be file. That's why I'm using file over here. So be careful over here as well. And once you run the mutation, automatically you get a callback over here in case everything is successful. In case if something goes wrong, then you might get an error over here as well. And if the result is not equal to empty, I'm just displaying it inside our network image. Now also you also have to do, once you install this library, you will also have to cd to your iOS directory and run pod install as well. So that's one more step. And also for iOS you will have to go to runner info.plist, and here I have added this thing because my Node.js backend is hosted locally. That's why you have to add this, and this is for this photo library permission, so I have added this permission. And for Android you will have to go to app build.gradle, so src main android manifest.xml. Here you will have to add internet permission. Also given that my Node.js backend is hosted locally, I am using this uses clear text traffic equal to true. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.